Some people bring their own resistance. Nala brought enough for the whole room. If she can drag all that extra weight through this circuit, none of you have an excuse.
Was public humiliation included in my membership, or are you charging extra today?
If you can't handle a joke, maybe you can't handle my class.
Then teach the class. My body isn't your comedy routine.
What happened next made Nala forget the insult for one sharp second. Claire Benton had entered the studio looking like a woman prepared to settle an ordinary complaint. Then she saw the man standing behind the class, and every trace of managerial confidence drained from her face. Nala noticed it immediately. Kelsey noticed it too. Hyun-Soo Jang did not move. That was the strangest part. The entire room had shifted around him, but he stood there in a charcoal training shirt with one hand loose at his side, breathing as calmly as if nobody had just turned a workout into a public trial. Less than a minute earlier, Kelsey Dane had used Nala Kusi's weight as entertainment. She had stopped a difficult circuit, pointed at Nala's body, and invited the room to laugh. Nala had felt heat climb from her chest to her ears so fast she could almost hear her pulse. She had also refused to leave. Now the gym manager was looking at Hyun-Soo as if the dangerous person in the room had never been Kelsey. Claire crossed the floor quickly. "Mr. Jang, I didn't know you were here." Kelsey's face changed. Nala caught it. So did half the class. Hyun-Soo's eyes stayed on Claire. That seems to be the least important thing happening. His voice was quiet. He made no threat and gave no performance. Somehow that made Kelsey look more nervous. Nala folded her arms. "Good. Then maybe somebody can explain why a fitness instructor thinks humiliating a paying client counts as coaching." Claire turned toward her. "Miss Kusi, I am very sorry." Kelsey let out a breath through her nose. "I was motivating her." Nala's eyebrows rose. "You should ask for a refund on whatever course taught you that." A woman near the back covered a smile with her hand. Hyun-Soo looked away for half a second, but Nala saw the corner of his mouth move. That tiny reaction irritated her more than it should have. He had defended her, and he was attractive in an infuriatingly controlled, mature way. Worse, she had absolutely no intention of letting a handsome stranger become the most memorable part of the morning when she had come here for herself. Claire asked the class to take 10 minutes. Nobody moved quickly. People gathered bottles, towels, and phones while pretending not to stare. Nala bent to pick up her water, and the tremor in her fingers made her angry all over again. She hated that Kelsey had gotten under her skin. She hated even more that part of her wanted to disappear into the locker room and never come back. She straightened instead. Hyun-Soo was still watching her. His gaze was not on her hips or her stomach. It was on her face. That mattered more than she wanted it to. Nala turned toward Claire. "I want to file a complaint." Kelsey gave a disbelieving laugh. "Over a joke?" Nala faced her fully. "No, over a professional deciding my body was public property." The laughter died. Claire nodded once. "Come with me." Hyun-Soo stepped aside to clear Nala's path. He did not touch her. He did not offer his arm. He simply moved enough to let her choose where she wanted to go. For some reason, that small act landed harder than his intervention. Nala passed him. His voice followed softly. "You finished the circuit." She looked back. He nodded toward the timer on the wall. "Before she stopped the class." Nala almost smiled. "Were you counting?" "I notice persistence." There it was again, that unnerving steadiness. Nala tipped her head. "Then notice me filing my own complaint." This time Hyun-Soo did smile, barely. "I already did." Before Kelsey finds out exactly who just stood up behind Nala, if stories like this are why you watch Afro-Korean Love Tales Hub, subscribe. It tells us these stories are landing and helps us keep bringing you more. Nala walked out before her own expression betrayed her. Inside Claire's office, Kelsey arrived 3 minutes later with anger vibrating through every step. She insisted that her style was direct, that clients paid for results, and that people had become too sensitive. Claire listened with the exhausted face of a woman realizing a profitable employee might finally have become too expensive to defend. Nala sat upright across from the desk. She had spent years learning how quickly rooms changed when a plus-size woman objected to being mocked. The joke became harmless. Her reaction became the real problem. Her dignity became an inconvenience. Nala would not allow that today. "My complaint isn't that she hurt my feelings," Nala said. "My complaint is that she stopped a class I paid for and used me as material." Kelsey's jaw tightened. "You were struggling." "I was still doing it." "You were slowing everyone down." "Then correct my form." Kelsey opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Claire looked down at the incident form. That was when someone knocked. Brielle Shaw stood in the doorway, still wearing her training clothes, her phone held close to her chest. She looked uncomfortable enough that Nala immediately sat straighter. "I think you need to see something." Kelsey's head snapped toward her. Brielle stepped inside. "During class, I noticed Kelsey's phone propped near the speaker stand." Claire frowned. "Recording?" Brielle nodded. Kelsey moved too quickly. "It's for content. Everyone signs the media waiver." Nala's stomach dropped. Claire looked up sharply. "Not everyone." The room went still. Nala's voice came out lower. "Was I recorded?" Kelsey did not answer fast enough. That was answer enough. Outside the office, Hyun-soo was standing near the window when Minho Park arrived. Minho did not look like someone who belonged in a fitness studio. His dark suit, controlled expression, and the way he scanned every entrance made that obvious. He approached Hyun-soo and spoke so quietly nobody else could hear. "You were recorded." Hyun-soo's eyes hardened. Minho showed him a still image on his phone. Kelsey in the foreground, Nala near the center, Hyun-soo visible behind them. "How far has it gone?" "Not public yet." "Yet?" Kelsey's account syncs clips automatically to a private content folder. "We don't know who has access." Hyun-soo looked through the glass toward Claire's office. Nala was visible inside, speaking with both hands now, anger giving energy to every movement. Minho followed his gaze. His expression changed by 1 degree. That was enough. "No." Hyun-soo looked at him. Minho's tone stayed respectful. "Whatever you're thinking. No." "I haven't said anything." "You don't need to." Hyun-soo looked back through the glass. Nala turned at that exact moment. Their eyes met through the office window. For 1 second, neither looked away. Then Nala deliberately returned her attention to Claire. Hyun-soo felt something disturbingly close to amusement. Minho saw that too. "This is worse than I thought." Claire suspended Kelsey before noon. She did not fire her yet, but the suspension would remain in place pending review. Nala should have felt victorious. Instead, she stood outside the gym under bright morning sun with Talia Mero on the phone, and the strange sensation that the day had somehow grown larger than the insult that started it. Talia had listened without interrupting for almost 2 minutes, which was how Nala knew she was furious. "So let me understand this," Talia said. "A woman with a microphone made a joke about your body. A mysterious Korean man stood up for you. The manager nearly fainted when she saw him, and now there may be a recording." "That's the unpleasantly accurate version." "Was he handsome?" Nala closed her eyes. "That is your question?" "It is one of several." "He was fine." Talia gasped theatrically. "Fine means dangerous." "He was wearing gym clothes." "Fine in gym clothes is worse." Nala laughed before she could stop herself. The sound surprised her. 5 minutes ago, she had wanted to crawl out of her own skin. Now, she was laughing on the sidewalk. That mattered. Then the glass doors opened behind her. Hyun-soo stepped outside. Talia heard Nala go quiet. "Is that him?" Nala lowered her voice. "Possibly." Put me on speaker. No. Ask if he has a brother. Nala ended the call. Hyun-soo stopped several feet away, close enough to speak but far enough not to crowd her. Again, he left the distance to her. I owe you an apology, he said. Nala stared at him. For what? For interfering after you told me you could handle it. You did stop. Eventually. That counts. His eyes warmed slightly. Up close, she noticed the silver at his temples. He was older than she first thought, and somehow that made his composure more attractive rather than less. Nothing about him felt boyish. He looked like a man who had learned exactly how much force he possessed, and no longer needed to advertise it. Nala was suddenly very aware that she was sweaty, irritated, and standing in workout clothes after being publicly insulted. The timing felt perfect in the worst possible way. If you're still with Nala after what just happened, drop one emoji for how you feel about her decision. Then tell us where you're watching from and what time it is there. Because the man who defended her is about to become a much bigger problem than Kelsey. Hyun-soo glanced toward the doors. There's something else. The warmth disappeared from his expression. Kelsey recorded the class. I know. My face is in it. Nala frowned. You say that like it's a national emergency. For me, it could become one. There was no drama in the words. That made her take them seriously. Who are you? Hyun-soo held her gaze. A black sedan pulled to the curb. Minho stepped out and opened the rear door, then waited. Nala looked at the car, then at Minho, and finally back at Hyun-soo. Her heartbeat climbed, not because the scene looked glamorous, but because suddenly none of it looked accidental. Hyun-soo spoke quietly. My name is Hyun-soo Jang. Nala waited. He seemed to understand that the name alone meant nothing to her. For the first time since she met him, he looked almost uncertain. I'm someone who has enemies. Nala's eyebrows lifted. That's impressively vague. A flicker of humor crossed his face. Then Minho looked toward the street and his entire posture changed. Hyun-soo saw it. The warmth vanished. A motorcycle had slowed across the road. Its rider was looking directly at them. Minho took one step closer to Hyun-soo. That isn't one of ours. The rider lifted a phone. Nala saw the lens turn toward them. Hyun-soo moved before she could think. He did not grab her. He simply stepped between Nala and the street, broad shoulders blocking the camera while Minho crossed toward the curb. The motorcycle accelerated and disappeared into traffic. Nala stared after it. Tell me that was somebody admiring my excellent post-workout glow. Hyun-soo looked back at her. Even now, she was joking. Something in his face softened, then tightened again. I can't. Her smile faded. Do you know him? No. Does he know you? Possibly. Nala rubbed one palm over the other. Her body was still carrying the humiliation, the complaint, the recording, and now this. She had come to exercise. Somehow, she had ended up beside a black sedan asking a mysterious man whether strangers photographed him from motorcycles. This morning is becoming aggressively unreasonable. Hyun-soo almost laughed. Then he looked at Minho returning from the curb, and whatever warmth had appeared vanished. Minho stopped beside them. We need to leave. Hyun-soo did not look away from Nala. No, he said quietly. First, she needs to know why. Hyun-soo waited until Minho moved a few steps away. Then he looked at Nala with the expression of a man deciding how much truth could be spoken on a sidewalk. I'm not a businessman in the ordinary sense. Nala folded her arms. That sentence has never improved anyone's morning. His mouth almost moved again. I run an organization. What kind? He held her gaze. Nala stared at him for 2 full seconds. Then she understood. Her eyes narrowed. Oh. Hyun-soo said nothing. Oh. A passing car hissed over wet pavement near the curb. Nala looked at the black sedan, at Minho, then back at Hyun-soo. You're serious? Yes. You're telling me you are some kind of criminal? I'm telling you enough to understand why that recording matters. Nala let out a small, disbelieving laugh. I came here to improve my cardiovascular health. Hyun-soo's expression warmed despite himself. This is not funny. It is a little funny. It really isn't. That may be because you're standing in the middle of it. Nala rubbed her forehead. 30 minutes earlier, her largest problem had been an instructor with a cruel mouth. Now she was apparently discussing media exposure with a Korean Mafia boss who had defended her in a fitness class. Talia was going to become unbearable. Hyun-soo nodded toward the car. Let us take you home. No. Minho glanced over. Hyun-soo did not. He simply asked, Why? Because I met you less than an hour ago. I understand. And because getting into a black car with a self-described criminal feels like the opening scene of a documentary where everyone later says she ignored obvious warning signs. For the first time, Hyun-soo laughed. It was brief and low, but completely real. Nala felt the sound in a place she did not appreciate. She pointed at him. That was not encouragement. I know. I have my own car. I'll have Minho follow at a distance. No. Hyun-soo's smile disappeared. Nala stepped closer, not enough to invade his space, but enough to make the point impossible to miss. You do not get to replace asking with informing just because your voice is calm. Minho suddenly became fascinated by traffic. Hyun-soo studied her. Then he nodded once. Fair. That answer caught Nala off guard. Men with far less power had argued harder. Hyun-soo took out his phone. Will you take my number? That depends. Is it going to summon 6 men in suits every time I complain about something? Only 5. Nala stared at him. His face remained perfectly straight. She laughed before she could stop herself. There it was again. The irritating realization that this dangerous man had a sense of humor buried under all that control. She took his number. Nothing more. By the time Nala reached Talia's apartment that afternoon, the story had already become worse. Talia opened the door before Nala knocked twice. You met Hyun-soo Jang. Nala stopped. That tone concerns me. Talia held up her tablet. A search page was open. Nala did not need to read much. Photographs of Hyun-soo appeared beside articles filled with words like syndicate, investigation, influence, and alleged. Nala slowly removed her sunglasses. He told me he runs an organization. Talia stared at her. An organization? That was his phrase. That man has been linked to organized crime for more than 20 years. He did eventually improve the description. Talia grabbed Nala's wrist and pulled her inside. Please tell me you did not get into his car. I did not. Please tell me you did not give him your address. I did not. Please tell me he is ugly. Nala dropped onto the sofa. Talia saw her face. Oh no. Do not start. He's handsome. I said do not start. He's mature handsome too. That is worse. Nala grabbed a cushion and threw it at her. Talia caught it and laughed. The humor lasted until Nala's phone began vibrating. Once, twice, then continuously. A message from Brielle arrived first. The video is out. Nala opened the link. Her own face filled the screen. Someone had cut the footage to begin with Kelsey pointing toward her body. The clip caught the laughter, Nala's response, and Hyun-soo standing up behind her. The caption was worse than the video. Nala stopped reading after the first line. Her throat tightened. Comments multiplied beneath it faster than she could process them. Some defended her. Some mocked her. Some argued about whether Kelsey had been joking. Others ignored Nala entirely and focused on the man in the background. Talia reached for the phone. Nala held it tighter. No, you don't need to read that. I know. But she kept scrolling. It was irrational. She knew it was irrational. Every cruel sentence felt like touching a bruise to confirm it still hurt. Then one comment stopped her. Who is the guy who stood up for her? Another replied, You really don't know? Nala locked the screen.
Across the city, Minho was looking at the same clip. It jumped from 12,000 views to 90,000 in 40 minutes.
Hyun-soo stood at the window of his private office, phone in hand. Organic? No. Hyun-soo turned. Minho placed a tablet on the desk. Someone is pushing it. Who? We're tracing it. Hyun-soo looked at the frozen image of Nala in the center of the screen. She looked angry. She also looked exposed. His first instinct was immediate. Remove the clip, find every account, shut it down. Then he remembered her voice on the sidewalk. You do not get to replace asking with informing. Hyun-soo closed his hand around the phone. Call her. Minho blinked. Me? No. Hyun-soo dialed himself. Nala almost ignored the call. Talia saw the name and made a sound that was halfway between alarm and delight. Do not make that noise. I made no noise. You absolutely did. Nala answered. What? Hyun-soo's voice came through calm and low. The video is being amplified deliberately. Nala sat straighter. By who? I don't know yet. So what do you want? To have it removed. Her jaw tightened. I asked what you want, she said, not what you already decided. The line went quiet. Then Hyun-soo corrected himself. What do you want me to do? Talia's eyebrows rose. Nala looked away from her. I want the full video preserved. Why? Because the edit makes it look like I came in angry and picked a fight with her. We can preserve it. And I want Brielle's copy somewhere safe. Yes. And then I want the viral versions reported through normal channels first. Hyun-soo did not immediately answer. Nala smiled without humor. That physically hurt you, didn't it? A little. She laughed. He did too. The tension between them changed, not disappeared. Changed. Thank you for asking, Nala said. His voice softened. I'm learning. That should not have affected her as much as it did. The next morning, Nala returned to the gym. Talia called the decision stubborn. Nala called it Tuesday. Claire had arranged a replacement instructor and personally met Nala at reception. She offered another apology, then promised the investigation into Kelsey would continue. Nala stepped into the studio and stopped. Hyun-soo was already there. Same back row, same controlled posture. Different shirt, this one deep forest green. He looked at her. Nala looked at him. Neither smiled. Then he lifted one eyebrow. She walked to her mat. Are you following me? This is my class. You missed the part where your presence caused an international incident. I was hoping today would be quieter. Nala placed her water bottle down. With me here? Hyun-soo considered that. No, she smiled. The replacement instructor began with mobility work. 10 minutes later, Nala discovered something extraordinary. Hyun-soo Jang could apparently intimidate grown men without raising his voice, but he could not touch his toes. She watched him attempt the stretch with such severe concentration that she nearly lost her balance, laughing. His head turned. Something amusing? Nala covered her mouth. No. You're laughing. I'm breathing. You are very bad at lying. And you are very bad at hamstrings. His eyes narrowed. Nala laughed harder. People around them began smiling too, not at her this time, but with her. The difference landed quietly. Hyun-soo shook his head and returned to the stretch. Nala leaned toward him. For a dangerous man, you are surprisingly inflexible. His voice stayed low. I have other strengths. The words were innocent enough. The look was not. Nala's laughter stopped. Heat rose under her skin for an entirely different reason. Hyun-soo held her gaze for 1 second too long. Then the instructor called the next movement. Nala turned away. Her pulse had suddenly become much less interested in cardiovascular fitness and much more interested in the man behind her. After class, Hyun-soo found her at the water station.
Coffee. Nala twisted the cap onto her bottle. Is that a command? A badly phrased question. Try again. He inhaled slowly, as though patience were a muscle she was forcing him to develop. Would you have coffee with me? Nala looked at him. No guards visible, no black sedan at the door, no pressure hidden inside the invitation, just a man asking. She let him wait 3 seconds longer than necessary. Yes. Hyun-soo's eyes warmed. Then Nala added, but if 5 men in suits appear, I'm leaving. 4. She laughed. 3. Negotiable. And for the first time since the video went public, Nala walked out of the gym thinking about something other than humiliation. The cafe was 2 blocks away, bright enough to feel ordinary and busy enough that Nala could forget for almost 15 minutes that the man across from her had enemies. Hyun-soo drank black coffee. Nala looked at the cup. Of course you do. He frowned. What does that mean? You look like a man who considers sugar a character flaw. I eat dessert. She stared at him. He added, sometimes. That sounded like a confession. His smile came slowly. Nala realized she liked earning it. They talked about almost nothing important at first. Music, food, the endurance event, why Nala had signed up. Hyun-soo listened when she explained that finishing mattered because too many people had spent years treating her body as evidence of what she could not do. I am not trying to become smaller, she told him. I am trying to become stronger. Hyun-soo's gaze settled on her face. You already are. The answer was so simple that Nala forgot the joke she had been preparing. Then Hyun-soo's phone vibrated. He checked the screen. Every trace of warmth vanished. Nala saw it immediately. What? Hyun-soo did not answer. Across the cafe window, a man lowered his phone and walked away. Hyun-soo rose. This time he did not step in front of Nala. He looked at her first. May I? Nala understood what he was asking. Her amusement disappeared. She nodded. Only then did Hyun-soo move between her and the glass. Outside, Minho appeared from nowhere and followed the stranger into the crowd. Nala watched Hyun-soo's reflection in the glass. The man who had made her laugh 5 minutes earlier was gone. The Mafia boss was back. Minho returned 14 minutes later. He did not sit. That told Nala enough before he said a word. Hyun-soo remained standing beside the cafe window, shoulders relaxed, but eyes fixed on Minho. Same man from yesterday? He asked. No. Nala looked between them. That is not comforting. Minho glanced at her, then at Hyun-soo. The video is being pushed through paid accounts. Someone wants your face attached to it. So this stopped being about Kelsey? Yes, Minho said. Hyun-soo looked at Nala. You should go somewhere else for a few days. Her jaw tightened immediately. He saw it. So much for learning. I'm asking. No, you're using a question-shaped sentence to tell me what you already decided. Minho looked away again. Hyun-soo exhaled through his nose. What would you prefer? The truth. You have it. All of it? That stopped him. Nala stood and reached for her bag. There. That face. That means no. Hyun-soo's voice lowered. There are people who would use anyone connected to me. And am I connected to you? The question landed harder than she intended. Hyun-soo looked at her for a long moment. Yes. Nala's heartbeat stumbled. Minho became deeply interested in the floor. Hyun-soo continued, quieter now. More than is convenient. Warmth moved through Nala before she could stop it. Convenient for who? For me. Outside, traffic moved normally. Inside, everything between them felt dangerously still. Nala picked up her bag. Then do not punish me for being important to you. Hyun-soo's eyes sharpened. Tell me what the danger is. Let me decide what I do with the information." He nodded once. This time, there was no resistance. That evening, he told her more. He did not tell her everything, but he gave her the one fact that mattered most. Seojun Kim. Hyun-soo had known him for years. Seojun operated close enough to Hyun-soo's organization to understand its habits, but far enough outside Hyun-soo's direct control to remain dangerous. "He wants your position?" Nala asked. "He wants instability." "And I create that?" Hyun-soo looked at her across the small private dining room. "You create something he can measure." "What?" "My attention." Nala went quiet. Hyun-soo leaned back slightly. "I should have stayed away from you." Nala's brows rose. "That is a terrible romantic line." "I wasn't attempting romance." "Good, because it needs work." His mouth curved. There it was again. That reluctant smile she was beginning to recognize before it appeared. Nala looked down at her tea. "This is complicated." "Yes." "You are complicated." "Yes." "You keep agreeing with me. It is suspicious." "I'm trying to improve." She laughed. He watched her. Then the laughter faded. "Why were you in that class?" she asked. Hyun-soo's eyes moved to his hands. "An injury." Nala waited. He touched his left side near the ribs. 2 years ago." "Car accident?" "No." She understood. "Someone tried to kill you?" "Yes." The answer was matter-of-fact, but his face changed in a way Nala had not seen before. Not fear. Memory. She softened. "And the gym?" "My doctor recommended flexibility and conditioning." Nala smiled. "Your doctor was right about the flexibility." Hyun-soo looked offended. She laughed again. This time he did too. That became the pattern over the next several days. Nala trained, Hyun-soo appeared. Sometimes they argued, sometimes they had coffee. Once he brought her a pastry and pretended choosing it had been effortless. Minho accidentally revealed otherwise. Nala laughed until Hyun-soo threatened to replace him. The romance grew in tiny, ridiculous ways. He learned she loved old soul music. She learned he had an embarrassing weakness for romantic ballads and would deny it under oath. Nala had no interest in pretending attraction was mysterious when it was obvious. She liked him. That was the problem. She liked his steadiness. She liked that he listened. She liked that he never made her feel as though her body required explanation. And she liked the way his eyes found her when she entered a room. The first time he kissed her, there was no danger, no rescue, and no dramatic interruption. They were standing outside the gym after an evening class. Nala had just mocked his stretching again. Hyun-soo looked at her and said, "You enjoy this too much." "I have suffered. Let me have something." He stepped closer, not touching, waiting. Nala's teasing expression faded. "You're asking again?" "Yes." "For what?" His gaze dropped to her mouth, then returned to her eyes. Nala's pulse climbed. "You are a very patient criminal." "Not usually." She stepped into the remaining distance herself. The kiss was warm, controlled, and brief enough to leave her irritated when he pulled back. Nala stared at him. "That was cautious." "I was being respectful." "You can be respectful for longer than 3 seconds." Hyun-soo's expression changed. Then he kissed her again. This time, Nala forgot the parking lot existed. When they finally separated, she was smiling. Hyun-soo looked almost pleased with himself. "Do not become arrogant." "Too late." She laughed and pushed lightly at his shoulder. For one bright moment, Nala felt desired, alive, and completely herself. Then she noticed the car across the street. It had been parked there yesterday, too. Her smile disappeared. Hyun-soo followed her gaze. He swore quietly. By the next morning, 2 men were watching Nala's apartment building. She did not know that yet.
Hyun-soo did. And this time, fear beat respect. He placed security around her without asking. Every justification sounded reasonable until Talia spotted the same man outside a grocery store twice in one afternoon. Talia called Nala immediately. Nala confronted the man. He tried to walk away. She followed. He finally admitted he worked for Minho. Nala went cold. Hyun-soo answered on the first ring. "Where are you?" "Do not ask me that." He heard her tone. "Nala, you put men on me." His silence confirmed it. "You put men on me after I told you exactly what I needed from you. There was surveillance outside your building. Then you tell me. I was trying to keep you safe." "No, you were trying to keep yourself comfortable." His voice tightened. "This is not about comfort. It is about control. That is not fair." Nala laughed once, but there was no humor in it. "No? I told you the rule, truth and choice. You agreed because you wanted me close. Then the second you got scared, you decided your fear mattered more than my consent." Hyun-soo said nothing. That hurt worse. Nala's eyes stung. She hated that too. "I trusted you." "I know." "Did you?" "Yes." "Then why did you make me look stupid?" His answer came low. "I thought being angry with me was better than being dead." Nala closed her eyes. She heard the old logic underneath it. I know better. I decide. She had lived through softer versions of that her entire life. People deciding what her body needed, what she should eat, what she should wear, what spaces she should avoid, what risks she was allowed to take. Kelsey had humiliated her publicly. Hyun-soo had done something more intimate. He had listened to her boundary and crossed it anyway. "Nala, no. I can explain. You already did." She ended the call. Hyun-soo stood in his office with the phone still against his ear. Minho watched from across the room. "You were wrong," Minho said. Hyun-soo looked at him. Minho did not flinch. "She told you exactly what would break her trust." Hyun-soo lowered the phone. "And if I had done nothing?" "You did not have to do nothing. You had to tell her." Hyun-soo's jaw tightened. That was the part he hated most. Minho was right. The next 3 days were worse than any confrontation. Nala returned to the gym. Hyun-soo did not. He sent no flowers, no gifts, no dramatic apology. He gave her the space she had asked for. Nala should have appreciated it. Instead, she missed him. That made her furious. Talia listened to the entire story and refused to take the easy side. "He was wrong. Thank you." "But," Nala glared at her. Talia lifted both hands. "I said he was wrong. I am also saying fear makes people stupid, even terrifyingly handsome people with criminal organizations." Nala looked away. He listened until it became difficult. "Yes. And that is when listening matters." "Yes." Talia softened. "Do you think he understands that now?" Nala's throat tightened. "I don't know." Across town, Claire Benton was discovering something else. Kelsey's private content archive contained dozens of class clips. Some had consent forms, some did not. Several used clients' bodies as jokes. Claire sat with a growing sense of shame. She had called Kelsey's harshness branding and previous complaints personality conflicts. Now she understood that Nala had not been the first woman humiliated in that room, only the first who refused to disappear quietly. Claire terminated Kelsey that afternoon. Kelsey took the news badly. "You are firing me because one woman complained?" Claire turned the monitor toward her. "I am firing you because many women complained and I kept pretending the revenue justified not listening." Kelsey's anger flickered. Claire continued. "And because someone paid to amplify Nala's video." That changed everything. Kelsey froze. Claire saw it. "You know something." Kelsey looked toward the door, then back at Claire. "A man contacted me." Claire's stomach tightened. "What man?" "I never met him." "What did he want?"
More footage of Hyun-soo Jang. Claire went pale. Kelsey's voice dropped. At first I thought it was just gossip. Then he offered money. Did you take it? No. Claire did not believe her immediately. Kelsey saw that. I didn't. Why not? For the first time, Kelsey looked frightened. Because he knew where I lived. That same evening, Brielle sent Nala the full original recording, not the viral edit, everything. Nala watched herself struggle through the exercise, watched Kelsey stop the class, watched the joke, watched herself refuse to leave. Then she saw Hyun-soo. He had been behind her for most of the class, before the joke, before the confrontation, and before he ever spoke, he had been watching her, not her body, her. Nala replayed one moment twice. She was finishing the final repetition. Everyone else had already stopped. Hyun-soo looked almost impressed. Her anger softened despite herself. Then a message from Claire appeared. I need to speak with you. It is about who spread the video. At almost the same moment, Minho walked into Hyun-soo's office carrying a photograph. Sojun Kim. Hyun-soo looked at it. Minho placed a second photograph beside the first. Talia leaving work. Hyun-soo stood so quickly his chair struck the wall. Where did this come from? One of Sojun's people? Hyun-soo's face went cold. Minho continued. He is not watching only Nala anymore. Hyun-soo reached for his phone, then stopped. He remembered the last call, truth and choice. His hand tightened around the device. This time, he would do it differently. Across town, Nala was walking toward Claire's office when Talia called. Nala. Something in her voice stopped Nala mid-step. What happened? There is a car following me. Nala's blood went cold. Where are you? Talia gave the street. Nala turned immediately, and this time, before fear could make the decision for her, she called Hyun-soo. Hyun-soo. He answered before the second ring. Nala. Talia is being followed. His voice changed instantly, but not into command. Where is she? Nala gave him the street. Is she driving? Yes. Ask her if she wants help. If she says yes, I can have Minho reach her in 3 minutes. Nala went still. Even now, terrified, he was asking. She called Talia back on the second phone Claire handed her. Talia, Hyun-soo can send someone. Do you want that? Yes, please. Nala relayed the answer. Hyun-soo moved. Tell her to stay on the main road, keep the doors locked, and drive toward the hotel on Mercer. Minho will meet her outside. No detours? No detours. And no one touches her unless she agrees. I understand. Nala closed her eyes for 1 second. That sentence should not have felt romantic. It did. 3 minutes later, Talia saw Minho's car pull beside hers. The vehicle behind her immediately turned away. Minho did not chase it. He escorted Talia to the hotel. Hyun-soo could have ordered pursuit. Instead, he stayed on the phone with Nala. You did that differently, she said. I should have done it differently the first time. Nala leaned against Claire's desk. Do not make me regret noticing. I won't. Claire watched her carefully. When Nala ended the call, Claire placed Kelsey's statement on the desk. Kelsey told us someone contacted her for more footage. Sojun? We do not have a name, but she kept the messages. Nala looked at the screenshots. The sender wanted clips showing Hyun-soo entering and leaving the gym, dates, times, who he spoke to. Then one message made her stomach tighten. Is the woman always there too? Nala read it twice. Claire swallowed. Kelsey refused after that. After selling the first footage? She says she never sold the original. Nala looked up. Do you believe her? I believe she enjoyed attention more than she understood consequences. That sounded painfully accurate. Kelsey had wanted engagement. Sojun had wanted access. Nala had become the bridge between them. By evening, Hyun-soo, Miho, Nala, Talia, Claire, and Brielle were in the same private meeting room. Talia was safe, furious, and eating complimentary biscuits as if revenge required carbohydrates. This is good, she said through a bite. Nala stared at her. You were followed. I can multitask. For the first time that day, Hyun-soo laughed. Talia pointed at him. See? He understands me. Nala narrowed her eyes. Hyun-soo immediately looked innocent. Miho placed several printed photographs on the table. Seo-jun had been watching the gym, the cafe, and Nala's endurance event registration page. He expects you to appear there, Miho said to Hyun-soo. I will. No, Nala said. Every man at the table looked at her. She continued. He wants Hyun-soo reacting publicly. That is the whole point. Miho nodded slowly. Hyun-soo looked at Nala. What are you suggesting? That we stop giving him the version of you he planned for. Talia smiled. There she is. Nala ignored her. My event stays exactly as planned. Hyun-soo's jaw tightened. Nala saw it. You promised. I know. You hate this. Deeply. Good. That means the lesson is working. Miho coughed into his fist. Hyun-soo gave him a look. The plan was simple. No dramatic trap, no gunfight, no public spectacle. Claire provided the full records from Kelsey's account. Brielle provided the unedited video. Miho traced the paid amplification accounts back through Seo-jun's intermediaries. Hyun-soo's people gathered proof. The authorities and the people inside Hyun-soo's own organization who had tolerated Seo-jun because he was useful received the same information. Seo-jun had not just targeted Nala. He had used business resources for a personal attempt to destabilize Hyun-soo. That made him expensive. And powerful men tolerated many things before they tolerated expensive stupidity. Before they left the meeting room, Hyun-soo asked Nala to stay for a moment. Talia looked between them and grinned. I suddenly remember a biscuit emergency. Nala pointed toward the door. Go. When they were alone, Hyun-soo remained on the opposite side of the table. You can still cancel the event. Nala's expression hardened. He lifted one hand. I am not asking you to. That softened her slightly. I am reminding you that changing your mind would not make you weak. Nala studied him. There was no manipulation in his face, no hidden instruction, just concern. I know. Hyun-soo nodded. Nala walked around the table until only a few feet separated them. You know what frightened me most about those men outside my building? That they were there because of me. No. He frowned. That I started wondering whether you had been right to take the choice away from me. Hyun-soo's face tightened. Nala continued. Fear can make control feel reasonable. That is why I need you to keep asking, even when I am frightened too. He looked at her for a long moment. I can do that. You will fail sometimes. Yes. So will I. His eyes softened. Nala reached across the remaining distance and took his hand. I am still angry. I know. I still miss you. That caught him completely off guard. Nala smiled. I thought honesty was the new policy. Hyun-soo's thumb moved once across her knuckles. I missed you every hour. Her smile disappeared. The tenderness in his voice was almost unfair. She leaned closer. No secret security tomorrow. No secret anything. Good. Then she kissed his cheek and walked away before he could turn it into something longer. Behind her, Hyun-soo stood perfectly still. Talia was waiting outside. Well? Nala kept walking. He is learning. Talia hurried after her. That is not enough information for friendship. 2 days later, Nala stood at the starting line of the endurance event. Her legs shook, not from fear, from adrenaline. Talia stood behind the barrier, screaming her name loudly enough to embarrass 3 generations of their family. Brielle was there too. Claire had come. Even Minho stood several yards back, pretending he was not holding a bottle of water and a towel specifically for Nala. Hyun-soo was nowhere near the starting line. That was the plan. Nala looked for him anyway. Then she spotted him farther down the route, standing behind the crowd in a dark jacket, silver at his temples catching the morning light. He did not wave. He simply touched 2 fingers lightly to his chest. Nala smiled. The signal sounded. She moved. The first section felt easy. The second did not. By the third, her thighs burned and sweat ran down her back. People passed her. Some were younger, some were faster. Nala kept going. Halfway through, she remembered Kelsey's voice. Extra resistance. For one ugly second, the old humiliation returned. Then another memory replaced it. Hyun-soo at the back of the class. You finished the circuit. Nala breathed. One step, then another. Near the final checkpoint, a man moved beside the barrier. Sojun. Nala recognized him from Minho's photographs. He did not touch her. He did not need to. You really think he chose you? He asked quietly. Nala slowed but did not stop. Sojun walked along the barrier. You were useful. That is all. Nala's chest heaved. Her legs begged her to stop. She looked at him, then smiled. You crossed half the city to tell me that? Sojun's expression hardened. Nala kept moving. Behind him, Minho stepped from the crowd with 2 plainclothes officers and one of Hyun-soo's senior associates. Sojun turned. The confidence left his face. Minho held up a phone. We have the payments, the surveillance requests, and the accounts. Sojun looked toward the crowd for Hyun-soo. He was not there. That was the final insult. Hyun-soo had refused to give him the confrontation he wanted. Sojun had built his entire plan around Hyun-soo losing control. Instead, Hyun-soo let evidence do the damage. By the time Nala reached the final stretch, Sojun was being escorted away from the route. No spectacle, no blood, no chaos, just consequences. Nala did not see it. She was too busy trying to breathe. The finish line looked impossibly far. Then she heard Talia. Nala! Brielle joined her, then Claire, then Minho, and somewhere beneath all of them came one deeper voice. Keep going. Nala looked up. Hyun-soo stood just beyond the finish line, not in front of it, not reaching for her, not trying to pull her across. Waiting. Her eyes burned. She pushed harder. 10 steps. 5. 2. Nala crossed the line under her own power. For several seconds, she could not speak. Talia reached her first and wrapped her in a careful hug. You did it. Nala laughed and cried at the same time. I know. While Nala caught her breath, Claire came to stand beside her. There is one more thing you should know. Nala looked over. Kelsey's termination is final. Her appeal failed this morning. Nala absorbed that quietly. Claire continued. We are also changing the recording policy. No client appears in promotional content without specific consent for that recording. Brielle is helping us review the old archive. Nala glanced toward Brielle, who lifted one hand from behind the barrier. That is good. Claire's expression tightened with regret. I should have acted before you ever had to complain. Nala appreciated that Claire did not ask to be forgiven. You should have. I know. Claire nodded. Then she stepped away. Nala looked down at the medal in her palm. Kelsey had lost the job she abused. The gym had changed the policy it should have had from the beginning. The full video existed. The truth had survived the edit. But none of those things had carried Nala across the finish line. She had done that herself. Minho handed her the water with the solemnity of a diplomatic exchange. Then everyone seemed to understand something without discussing it. They moved away. Hyun-soo remained. Nala looked at him over the bottle. You stayed back. You asked me to. You wanted to interfere. Every second. She smiled. That must have been terrible. Cruel. Nala laughed. Then Hyun-soo's expression became serious. Sojun is finished. Her smile faded. Finished how? He has lost the protection that made him dangerous. The evidence is no longer mine alone. He cannot bury it. Nala studied him. You did not hurt him. No. Because I asked? Because you were right.
That answer reached somewhere deep. Hyun-soo stepped closer, then stopped. I have spent most of my life believing that if I cared about something, I had to control every threat around it. Nala said nothing. I did that to you. Yes. I am sorry. No excuse followed, no explanation, just the apology. Nala looked down at the medal hanging against her chest. This morning, I finished something people assumed I could not do. Hyun-soo's eyes softened. And I need you to understand something. I will never become smaller, so loving me feels safer for you. I know. If I stay as myself. I know. No secret guards. He winced slightly. Nala pointed at him. That face concerns me. I was going to say, unless you ask. She considered it. Acceptable. His relief was almost invisible. Almost. Nala stepped closer. What exactly are you asking me for, Hyun-soo? His voice dropped. A chance to earn a place in your life. Not to take her away, not to keep her, not to protect her from herself. A place. Nala looked at the man who had first caught her attention because he stood up when a room laughed. Then she thought about what mattered more. He had learned when to sit back down. She reached for his hand. One condition. Anything. You attend flexibility training twice a week. Hyun-soo stared at her. Nala smiled. Anything? His eyes narrowed. That was before I understood the terms. She laughed so hard she had to lean against him. Hyun-soo caught her gently, one arm around her waist, and this time she stayed there because she chose to. If Nala earned your respect by the end of this, drop one word for her and share the story.